From time to time, I need to and want to update my audience on the latest news and notes from the world of college admissions. And today is one of those times because Johns Hopkins University, for its 2020-2021 supplement to the Common Application, has updated its supplemental essay question. And last year, I made an entire video about how to get into Johns Hopkins University, framing that video around all the key aspects of what you need to do to get into Johns Hopkins, including the old supplemental essay question on the Johns Hopkins supplement to the Common App. So this year, I owe it to you who may be interested in still worming your way into Hopkins. I owe it to you to give you the inside track as to how you should approach the new supplemental essay prompt on the Johns Hopkins supplement to the Common App. And so here it is. And again, it's interesting. There's a trend this year with some of these colleges that they are asking questions or providing prompts that are, how should I put it, verbose or loquacious. Let's put it that way. Very wordy, not very direct. I have a direct idea that maybe Hopkins could have used. We'll talk about that at the end. But here goes the very wordy Johns Hopkins new prompt for 2020-2021 fall 2021 admission. Founded in the spirit of exploration and discovery, Johns Hopkins University encourages students to share their perspectives, develop their interests, and pursue new experiences. Use this space to share something you'd like the admissions committee to know about you, your interests, your background, your identity, your community, and how it has shaped what you want to get out of your college experience at Hopkins. For all those words, you only have 300 to 400 words to respond. So again, I think it's really out of proportion because Johns Hopkins should have just given you a quick, direct prompt since you have so few words with which to work. But in any case, here's my tips as to how you want to approach this one. Same word count as last year, just completely different prompt. It's very, very important that you do not treat this as just another Common App essay, even though it feels very broad and as if the spotlight should be on you throughout your response. If you treat it as another Common App essay, you will not have met your potential on this essay, and I'll tell you why. Instead, you want to treat this style or genre of writing here for the Johns Hopkins supplement as a hybrid between a response to a diversity prompt and a Why Hopkins prompt. That's how you want to frame this in your mind as you approach what you want to write about. Even though you only have up to 400 words, you really need to use this essay as your closing argument for why you would be a great fit for Hopkins and why Hopkins is a great fit for you. You want to start the essay by framing the intro/thesis around the interest, background, identity, or community you want Johns Hopkins to know about. Basically, the one thing you really want to hang your hat on in this essay, which is going to be the key to setting the table for how you seek to engage on Hopkins campus, both inside and outside the classroom. And we will talk about that in a moment. It's very important. Do not pick an aspect or aspects of your personality or background that you've already written at length about in the Common App essay. Instead, you want to pick a different facet or component of your background or your identity or your history or your perspectives or value system to really shine the light on in this essay, and ideally one that aligns with why you see in your heart a fit between you and Hopkins to begin with. If you don't see a fit between you and Hopkins, then go back to the research phase of this process. So after you actually set the table in the intro with a good strong thesis and sort of lay out what aspect of your background you're going to touch on, you really quickly want to transition to painting a picture of you on campus at Hopkins using good showing detail. You want to show where you see yourself doing this, how you see yourself doing this, that will let them see and feel you taking advantage of all the opportunities that Hopkins has to offer you in the context of whatever interest, background, identity, or community you mentioned in the intro paragraph. This is really key. So you have to be strategic about this. Hopefully, in the Common App essay, you've talked about yourself specifically, but generically, in the sense that that's so ironic to say it like that, right? Because it seems oxymoronic, but specifically as a person writ large. But in this essay, you really want to hone in on the aspect of you or your character, your background, your identity, whatever they call it here, interests, community, that you really want to use to differentiate yourself with Hopkins, and that you know will help differentiate your overall persona, brand, narrative with Hopkins. So for instance, let's say you're going to Hopkins because you want to study English, and you also really want to be a part of the BLM movement or something like that. You need to talk about how you intersect with that based off of your background and your hopes and dreams. You allude to your background or your identity or your interest or your community in the intro, the one that's existed up to this date. But then in the body, you're going to show yourself engaging in particular clubs on campus or taking particular classes in the English concentration or major or within the overall university, and engaging in the life of Baltimore in such a way where you're going to be deeply aligned and harnessed into this world that will allow you to pursue your passion both in terms of your curriculum, but also in terms of your outside of the classroom life with BLM. I'm just using that as an example. It's in the news right now. I'm not endorsing it or not endorsing it. I'm just using that as an example. Let's otherwise say you are someone who sees yourself as being a woman in engineering, and you have some elements of proof of that in the past. You can allude to the fact that you feel part of the scientific the women in science community, and you allude to that in the intro, and then in the body you're going to show how you're going to be in the women in science community at Hopkins. What does that look like specifically at Hopkins? Remember, if you can write this essay and it could be applied to any other college, you're not doing enough of a good job making it a why Hopkins / diversity essay. You need to show how you're going to pursue your women in science community interest in Baltimore at Hopkins by aligning yourself with particular research opportunities, committees, clubs, etc. that already exist and or you would like to start, and or community organizations, internships that will allow you to deeply focus in that. And again, that's what you're going to allude to in the body, to paint a very robust and bold picture of yourself engaging in, again, the interest, background, identity, and or community that you're going to hang your hat on in the intro. And then in the conclusion, you're going to not just restate the thesis or reiterate what you indicated that was important to you in the body. Instead, you're going to say one new thing, leave them wanting a little bit more and feeling as though you wrap it up in a nice little bow. And you only have 400 words. So several sentence intro paragraph, paragraph or two max for the body, and then several sentence conclusion, and you should be good to go. Remember, that's your final draft, not your first draft. Usually first drafts of successful final drafts are much longer than the word count, so you can get down to the most important and muscular final 400 words that will help drive home your closing argument at a school, in this case, like Hopkins. What my recommendation would be for Johns Hopkins next year for their supplemental essay question, just cut right to the quick. Maybe the essay prompt should be, how do you envision yourself surviving 4 years in Baltimore? That would be the most interesting question I think Hopkins could ask. And it's very direct, and it would really cut right to the bone, right? It would really get much more clarity on, does the student understand what he or she is getting into by wanting to go to college in the Homewood section of Baltimore City? But that's another topic for another day, and I don't think Hopkins will ever be brave enough to ask that particular question. In any case, until next time, good luck. See you soon.